Hello and welcome to another quick revision video from me, the History Tutor. And in this video we're going to be looking at Elizabethan England. We're going to look at Drake and Raleigh, exploration and trade. So I'm going to give you lots and lots of key facts that you need to revise for your Elizabethan exam, all about exploration and trade. I'm going to try and give you ideas about how they interconnect and interlink to really help you build up the ideas for your essay answers. So once you've revised this a few times, do look at my other videos to tutor yourself through how to answer the essay questions in detail. Now, let's go to the key content and revise. Okay, so let's start our story of trade and exploration by considering how the ships are out there around the world. So this is improving technology helping this. So we need to be aware of the lateen sail, which was a triangular sail that allowed for faster travel, and better equipment for navigation. So the astrolabe gave more accurate information about where north and south were, and the compass gave better navigation, so sailors could be out there doing more. Let's then think about Drake and what he did as our first major explorer. So Francis Drake was born as a gentry class in Devon to a farmer, so a bit of a yeoman farmer. So he was definitely not a sir when he was born. That has come through his achievements. He then moved as a child to Kent, where he got involved in sailing and became an apprentice sailor. As he moved up through his years, he then got involved in some ambitious missions. So with John Hawkins, he has a very negative reputation, does Drake, of being one of the first slavers to buy or steal or capture slaves in the African continent and sail them across the Americas to sell for profit. So in 1568 they did this mission, and unfortunately for Drake it went wrong. They sold the slaves and had their profit on their ships ready to head home back to England, and they were caught in storms at San Juan de Ulloa, and the Spanish pretended to help them but then attacked them and killed many of their sailors and stole much of their wealth on the ships, and Drake went home having watched the death of many of his friends, some family members, and he wanted revenge. So to gain this revenge, he got a privateer's license from the Queen. So the Queen would protect her pirates in return for money. So the privateers helped the Queen gain more money for the state, but obviously it's also going to cause some rivalry with Spain, and it's a cause of the wars with Spain because obviously she is protecting these pirates as they attack the Spanish. So Drake's first significant attack on the Spanish that got revenge was in 1572 when he attacked Nombre de Dios and took £3 million worth of treasure. This gained him a reputation as somebody who was very good at raiding the Spanish, and when Drake planned his next big mission in 1577 he got lots of support from members of the Privy Council and the Queen, who gave money and ships towards the mission. So Drake travelled to the Americas to raid Spanish ports, and he attacked Spanish ships. So the Nuestra Sonora was a big wage ship he stole huge amounts of money from, and he raided cities like Lima, where he gained huge amounts of treasure. However, Drake found that he'd been so successful that he couldn't turn around and head back home. He had to go forwards. If he had turned around, the Spanish would have caught him and he'd lost all his treasure. He also had lost some of his ships through storms, and he was left pretty much with one ship, the Golden Hind, and this returned back to England via South America and going all the way around the world. So he had to go up to North America, across the Pacific, and past the Spice Islands and back around Africa to England. On the way, he obviously claimed some lands in North America for Queen Elizabeth, named the New Albion. He made some deals with the Spice Islanders. He started to set up some ideas of trade links for the future. Upon his arrival back in England, Elizabeth knighted Drake on the deck of the Golden Hind. So he's now a Sir, and he's moved up in society because of his stealing, piracy and exploration. On his voyage, Drake has stolen the equivalent of £160,000 in treasure and money. 160,000 was given to Elizabeth. This was more than the money Parliament would give Elizabeth for running the country. So Elizabeth used this money to pay off many of her debts and set up the Levant Trading Company. So we've got her therefore expanding her trade and developing her wealth through this money. To put it in context of how much this is in modern money, it's not really something you can do, but obviously if you say that this has given more money to Elizabeth than the Parliament gives for her running the country, we could put this into equivalent of billions and billions of pounds. Some of the money went obviously to the nobles who gave money to her as well. So this is increasing the wealth of nobility as well. You can use this for other things, maybe theatre companies, house building, fashionable things. Drake, of course, moves up massively in society. So our second person is Walter Raleigh, involved in exploration and a new world. So Europeans started to explore the New World for wealth, but also to set up colonies. So in 1584, Elizabeth gave Walter Raleigh permission to explore North America and colonize any countries not already Christian. Elizabeth would take 1/5 of any gold or silver earned in this mission. So Walter Raleigh was the Queen's favourite in court, so lots of support was given to him for this. He'd been very successful in Ireland in crushing a Spanish potential rebellion and invasion from there. Elizabeth found him quite good looking and charming as well. Raleigh, in his mission to America, sent over a colony to North America. Raleigh did not go himself, he just organised it, and they set up a colony in Roanoke. But eventually the colonists became tired and bored there, they didn't have enough supplies to survive, and Drake just happened to be passing by and rescued them. So Raleigh led another mission to Roanoke in 1587. It seemed a success, but when John White returned to the colony after time in England, everyone had disappeared and the word Croatian was carved as the only clue. This was named of name of a local tribe that had possibly killed them all. White had returned to maybe get a few more supplies, but found when he got home, obviously, they were expecting the Spanish Armada to attack, so he couldn't get any ships to go back home, and by the time he did get there, it all disappeared. So Raleigh wanted to gain the wealth of the Americas and set off to find El Dorado. This is the first time, really, that he was actually on a mission himself. Often he sent privateers and missions off without him, but he was enamoured by the idea of the City of Gold and was trying to find it. He didn't find the City of Gold. He did make lots of money out of publishing a book about it, though. Later, Raleigh's work to lead a colony in America would be successful. After Elizabeth's death, we get Jamestown set up, of course, after King James. So during Elizabeth's reign, trade started to expand beyond the normal European routes, with middlemen traders selling spice and cloth from the east. Raleigh has started up these trade routes to the Americas. Drake started up trade routes to the Far East and around the world, and shown that travel can happen quite easily. So Elizabeth is keen to use her own sailors' travelling expertise to cut out the middlemen who take away some of their profits, and have the English people gaining the profits through her monopolies and her companies. So she starts to set up trade companies that can trade directly with places. The Muscovy Company set up in 1555 already. The Eastland Company is set up to trade with the Baltics in 1579. Levant Company set up to trade with Turkey and Middle East in 1581. So these are going to trade directly with people, English traders to the foreign traders, without these middlemen taking the profits. Exploration and trading companies takes a further step, with Elizabeth sending off Ralph Fitch to investigate India and the Far East to set up trade. And in 1601, the East India Company was set up in response to Fitch's work. This led to more trade in spices, silks and porcelain, but it was mainly set the foundation of the future, with the East India Company becoming really important and the Indian Empire being set up later on. Now it's worth considering that Raleigh and Drake have really helped the gentry develop, but now this has really helped the nobles develop. So you can imagine the nobles are going to be given monopolies and the jobs running these trading companies. So it's helping wealth develop all around the great chain of being. Now the final trade we need to consider is the slave trade. Elizabeth does give permission for English traders to start capturing and selling slaves. 1564, John Hawkins was the first Englishman to take slaves from West Africa to sell to the Americas. And obviously this starts the slave trade in the Elizabethan era. It's limited because the Spanish Empire dominates the Americas, but the trade is beginning in this time. Sorry to interrupt your video there. Hello, I'm the History Tutor, and please allow me to tell you a little bit about the service I offer to help you with your GCSE history studies. So do take a look at my website, thehistorytutor.co.uk, and find out more about things like tutoring. I can do one-to-one tutoring or small group tutoring with you and your friends to help you achieve really great results in your history studies. Also, I have many revision guides to help you. They're packed full of videos like this one with revision notes and revision talk-throughs. Also, with revision cards, everything is organised into blocks that you can easily read through and write through and memorise. But most importantly, I have tutoring videos on there, 10 to 15 videos talking through how to answer the questions. You can find some of these videos for free on YouTube. Do take a look, watch through them, subscribe, that'd be great. But also you can find more in my revision guides. So do follow the links in the video information to my Amazon channel and also to my website. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I hope you found it really useful looking through that content. You've got some ideas now about how some of these things interconnect, the wealth and the trade, the great chain of being, etc. So do look out for my other videos and try and tutor yourself through some of those answers. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.